My next DC Universe Classics is from Series 4, Cyborg. Now, Cyborg is, his real name is Vic Stone, and he first appears in DC Comics Presents number 26 in 1980. Yes, he makes his appearance along with most of the other new Teen Titans, and the new Teen Titans team by Wolfman and Perez, in a 16-page insert in another comic book, which is something that DC did quite frequently back in the 80s, early 80s. Lots of series made their debut in as a short 16-page preview. Now, let's get into a little bit of his background story. Well, his father and mother are both scientists, and his father pushes him to become a scientist as well. Well, Victor Stone doesn't like that, so he sort of rebels by becoming a high school athlete, and a very good one at that, with Olympic potential. Well, unfortunately, he's visiting his parents one day where they work together at Star Labs, and his father was experimenting in some extra-dimensional porthole, and a creature comes out, as is most likely when you have an interdimensional porthole. And this creature then decides to make a meal out of his mother, and badly damages Vic. So his father says, "Oh, I've got to save my son. What's the way to do it? Well, I'm going to take out all of his damaged organs and body parts, and I'm going to replace them with machines." Well, this doesn't sit well with a young Vic Stone, because now he can't compete in sports anymore because he's a machine, and that would be unfair. And so that really drives a further wedge between him and his father, not to mention his mother is dead. And he's kind of at crossroads in his life, wondering what's going to become of him, what he's going to do, when Raven comes along and convinces him to join the new Teen Titans. And he does, and he becomes pretty much a mainstay of the team, forming some very tight relationships, particularly with Garfield Logan, or Beast Boy / Changeling, and they actually become best friends despite being bickering at each other all the time. So, and then eventually he goes through lots of changes, coming out through a series of called JLA Titans, the Technus Imperative, and actually is responsible for the primary reason of the Titans being reformed as a team, and at least for a little bit. And then he really starts to take on a mentoring capacity towards the younger Titans, and continues that when he becomes the leader of the Teen Titans after Donna Troy has been supposedly killed. And he remains that way until today. So he's big part of Jeff Johns' Teen Titans, and which is very nice to have seen. Sort of comes out of the runs the show, as you might say. Now let's get into the figure. It's a nice sculpt, and this is pretty much his classic look from the 80s. Now, I might have preferred a more modern take on the character, like the way Mike McCone drew him in the first few issues of the Teen Titans, the Jeff Johns Teen Titans, and but this is just great too. It's again nice classic look. There is a little bit of paint splashes or mistakes, as you can see on the shoulder and on the back there, and a little on the side, but those don't detract from the figure on the whole. They're too small to notice. The one thing is odd is that the lips are kind of sometimes pick up the light weird, but again, that's a little problem. Not too much. Not too much to make it a bad figure. Now he does come with some attachments, as he would frequently have in the series, would be specialized attachments, which you would take his hand off and replace with special attachments. Now, the first is a claw / clamp. I'm always reminded of the Futurama figure Clamps, or the robot gangster Clamps, since it's so oversized and just kind of, to me, ridiculous looking. Plus, it kind of sits at an angle, if you can see, so it's weird. It's just, I don't like it. Now there is another second attachment, and this one is more of a blaster type weapon, which I guess this is meant to be his white noise sonic generator that he frequently used in the comics. Which is strange because there's actually a variant figure with called Sound Blaster Arm Cyborg, which only comes with an attachment that looks more like that, but a lot bigger. I think the DC Direct Cyborg did a better job of showing, of coming close to his comic book appearance. Well, that's it. It's good figure. It's one of my favorite. So I would suggest getting him if you don't have him. He's fairly available. You see him choking the shelves on Target and Walmart and Toys R Us. So if you don't have him, he's a nice figure to have. That's it for Cyborg DC Classics Universe Series 4.